Today we're going to make a portrait out of text. The first thing we need to do is find a portrait that has good light and a fair amount of contrast. So you can choose one that's colored or you can choose one that's already black and white. I found one online that's already black and white, saved it, and then opened the file in Photoshop. It was my background layer and locked, and I just unlocked it and it became layer 0. So I'm going to make a new layer now and hide this. And I'm going to build in some new brushes out of text. So let's see, I'm going to make this big so we can see it. I'll just type hello, and I'm going to type hello in a lot of different fonts. You can write any word you want. They could be like full sentences. I just want them to be varied. I think that'll look cool. Let's see. Let me grab one of these texts that I got from Typekit. Let's see. Hello. Hello. All right, that's good. Okay, now I'm gonna grab my rectangle marquee tool, select one at a time, and then I'm gonna go up to Edit and define brush preset, and I'm gonna name this one Hello 1. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing here. Edit, define brush preset, hello 2. Good. And then the last one, edit, define brush preset, hello, hello. Awesome. Okay, now I'm just going to delete these layers. I don't need them anymore. I just needed them to build the brushes. Delete. Okay, cool. So now I'm back to just having this layer. And actually I'm going to make another blank layer again. And I'm going to use my mover tool, go to the top of the screen, and we're going to use the color range tool that we use to highlight all of the green in our green screen pictures. So go to the top of your screen, hit select, and drop down to color range. And then instead of using sampled colors, we're going to select shadow and click OK. So now you can see that all of your darkest darks are highlighted. So I'm going to copy that. Selected layer is empty. Oh, that's because I have the blank layer selected. So I go over to my layer panel, choose layer 0, the one where you can see the portrait in the thumbnail, and now I'll copy it. And it let me copy it that time, and I'm going to paste it onto layer 1. Cool. So then I'm going to repeat that step, and this time I'm just going to grab the midtones, copy. Oops, I didn't grab any midtones. Okay, so I go to select, color range, change this from shadows to midtones. Okay, and all of that looks great, but if there's an area that I didn't want selected, I could use my lasso tool, not the magnetic lasso, but just the regular lasso tool, and hold down Option and select a part of it. And as long as I'm holding down Option while I use that lasso tool, it'll deselect it. So I'll show you that one more time on a part that doesn't really matter. Option, choose an area, and it'll deselect. Cool. And actually that was with my rectangle marquee tool. So, but if I use the lasso tool, then I have a little even more freedom. Same thing, Option. And this time you could circle around and it deselects. So anyway, I'm gonna create one more, oopsies, not a layer mask, create one more new layer. And now with my layer 0 highlighted, I'm going to copy and paste those midtones that are selected onto layer 2. So if I hide layer 0, all of the white is gone. If I hide the shadows, then you can see just the midtones are selected. And if I hide the midtones, then you can see just the darkest darks are selected. Awesome. So I'm going to make another new layer now. And just for organization purposes, I'll put it on top. I'm going to hide these other layers. Select this one, and then I'm going to press, well, I guess it doesn't really matter at this point, but I believe if I hold down Option D, oops, it became my background layer. Let's undo that, Command D, and now the background's white. Okay, so it's a little shortcut to change your background from transparent to white. I'm going to choose my brush tool, and hello is already selected, but I can change, let's see, where can I change my brushes? Window, brush settings. Let's see, here are all of the ones that I just made. If I go to brush settings, it's hard, this is a preview down here in this box and it's hard to read what's going on, but if I pull this spacing over to the right, it's going to spread all of those words apart until you can actually read what's going on. So I'm going to change the spacing to about there, and then hello. Just paint all over the canvas. And then in some spaces, maybe leave them so they're not overlapped, so you can actually read, but I'm not that concerned about it because I will come back over top with one of the other hello brushes. So if I grab another one, like hello 1, I'm going to pull the opacity up this time to 65% or 64. Change the spacing again so they're not overlapping. Now you can see hello. We could do it a lot. And remember, the portrait has some pretty dark darks in it, so it would be cool where I know that they're going to be very dark to get it layered on pretty thick. But obviously the appeal to this is that it's text, so we want to be able to read it somewhat. And then since I made a third brush, let's just try that too. So hello 2. And I think I'll bring the opacity back down somewhere in the middle. I like this one. And I'm going to spread them out pretty good. Hello. Maybe not that much because it's taking a while to cover the spaces. There we go. Hello, how are you? Hello. So we're going to sort of a lot of trouble just to make this text layer, but imagine you had a passage from one of your favorite books or a conversation that was written out that was really relevant to the photograph you were using. You could just scan that page and then upload that file already made as your text file, and that would maybe even be more meaningful. Okay, looking pretty good. I can still see some hellos here and there. I'm just looking down at my thumbnail to see where the darkest areas are, and it looks like this bottom corner definitely, so let's just bump the opacity up to 100% and put some really bold hellos down here, and maybe some more up here and in the eye area. Okay, all right, cool. So we're done with the brushes. Awesome. I'm going to make a layer mask for this layer because I don't want to see the words just like that. I only want to see them where the portrait features are. So I'm going to hold down layer 3, choose a layer mask, And then these two layers, layers 1 and layer 2, I want to combine into a single layer. So I will group those layers, and then with group 1 selected, let's see. I want to combine, merge the group. Cool. So now it's just in one layer, but for some reason I don't like that actually because I can't see anything. So let's undo that again. Okay. Wonder if I can just merge these two layers. Link layers? No. I did this last night. Let's see. Group layers. Merge group. Okay, so that worked for some reason. They had to be visible in order to merge the layers. So I selected layer 1 and layer 2, and both the eyeballs were open, and then I was able to drop down from the layer, drop down to merge layers. So it only put together the two that were connected. So now I'm going to press Command A, and you can see that's a shortcut for the rectangle. Marquee tool, everything is selected. Then I'm going to press Command C to copy it. Then with the layer mask selected on the words layer, I'm going to go up to image. I think it's image. Where are you? Always hide. Apply image. Okay, and then, oops, didn't apply the right one. Let's try this one more time. Okay. Command C. Select that. Edit image. Apply image. Okay, great. Now you can see that it copied the information from layer 1 into layer 3. But if I put the eyeball up here, it sort of did it in reverse. So in order to flip that, I'm just gonna, with the layer mask on your text layer selected, use the shortcut Command I for invert, and then you can see that it's made a layer mask out of the middle ground and the shadow layer that we combined. So the last step we need to do is make a new layer. We'll hide this for a minute. Press Command Delete, it'll change it to white. And then we're just going to move this underneath of our text layer, turn the eyeball back on, and there we go. We made a pretty cool portrait just using words.